This is the sixth gate of Kammasaka Zen, known as the Hands of the Master. This is Dharma talk number 6. And number 6 is the interconnection of the koan. When walking, just walk. When sitting, just sit. And there's a connection with the sixth ox herding picture, riding the ox home. And of course, interconnection with the sixth gate of Kammasaka Zen, the Hands of the Master. It's a Zen exploration of simplicity, presence, and the return to our home base, return to our home self. So in Zen practice, some of the most profound teachings come in the simplest expressions. The Zen koan, when walking, just walk. When sitting, just sit. It exemplifies this simplicity, offering a deceptively straightforward instruction. On the surface, this teaching may appear to be a reminder for single tasking or focusing on the activity at hand. However, in the Zen tradition, the koan speaks to a much deeper truth. It's talking about the art of the full presence and the abandonment of the divide, the discursive mind. And then alongside this symbolic journey in the sixth ox herding picture, riding the ox home, this also mirrors the process of coming home to oneself and to the tranquil state of simply natural presence. And then likewise, in Kammasaka Zen, the sixth gate known as the Master's Hand, it symbolizes the spontaneous flow of action that is based in non-duality, free from self-conscious thought. So each offers a unique lens on the same Zen aspiration. That aspiration, the transcendence of the thinking mind, and returning to a simple, embodied experience. By examining these concepts together, we uncover the deep significance of a non-dual presence and self-mastery, a mastery that is neither rigid nor contrived, but a natural outpouring of simply pure awareness. So in this wonderful koan, when walking, just walk. When sitting, just sit. This koan it's a testament. It's a testament to the Zen principle of total engagement with the present moment. This saying, it emphasizes the shedding of distractions, but it also challenges us to transcend this dualistic way of thinking, the tendency to perceive the separation between ourselves and our actions, or divide our awareness among multiple objects of focus. So in Zen, this dualistic perspective is seen as a barrier to enlightenment, a barrier to the attainment of Buddhahood, or the barrier simply to Kensho, Satori, awareness. as it continuously pulls the practitioner away from the present moment, enticing the mind to cling to past thoughts or drift towards future imaginings. So it's at the heart of this koan. At the heart of this koan lies the concept of mushin, or no mind. And in Zen practice, no mind is not a state of blank emptiness, but rather it's a mental state devoid of the ego's constant interference. And when the ego's endless stream of commentary fades, then the practitioner can act with or without self-consciousness or distraction and be fully emerged with the action at hand. So to walk without thought of walking, or to sit without the thought of sitting, it's a powerful exercise in surrender. It is a call to move beyond the limited and divisive intellect, allowing each moment to be enough on its own. So this koan, it points to a natural purity, free from any self-centered attachment. In walking, or in just walking, or just sitting, we are encouraged to experience life directly. So the teachings offer a profound reminder that peace and enlightenment are not found by adding complexity, but they're found by peeling away the layers of mental noise until only the pure act remains. And then, in its truest sense, there is no walker and there is no sitter. In the act, there is only the walking and only the sitting. So the self dissolves into simplicity of being. Now, the ox herding pictures, a traditional series of Zen, depict the journey of the spiritual awakening to self-realization. And each stage of this metaphorical journey represents an inner transformation, with the ox symbolizing the untamed mind, the wild nature that practitioners most initially struggle with, but can eventually tame. And in this sixth image, riding the ox home, it reveals a moment of profound integration where the seeker and the ox, or awakened nature, it can move as one. And unlike earlier images, where there is tension or separation between the seeker and the ox, this picture conveys harmony and peace. The practitioner is sitting upon the ox, holding the reins loosely, trusting in the natural intelligence of the journey. The ox knows the way home. The seeker need not sit, observe. The seeker only needs to sit and observe and allow. And this image resonates deeply with the koan. When walking, just walk. When sitting, just sit. So at this stage, the practitioner has no need to strive or control the experience. The ox herding picture symbolises a return to simplicity, a stage where one has come to realise non-duality. Like the koan, it simply represents an active surrender, where one finds peace not by clinging to any notion of self-mastery, but by letting go of the need to control. Through the journey depicted in riding the ox home, the seeker achieves the same realization as in the koan. It's the path to Kensho. It's not achieved through force, but it's achieved by relinquishing control. And then riding the ox becomes natural. It becomes an effortless way of being, much like just walking or just sitting. So this imagery, it speaks to an awareness where inner and outer, self and other, they fade into an inseparable whole. And the ox herder realizes that there is no need to search for home any longer, because by riding the ox, they're already home. The sixth gate brings forth the theme of spontaneity, action arising effortlessly from a state of undivided awareness. And in Zen, the hand is not just a reference to skill, but to a form of action that emerges without hesitation, self-reference, or the attachment to outcomes. And it embodies the spirit of the koan, where one acts directly and naturally, unencumbered by thoughts of self-separateness. So the hand of the master, it flows with the same pure presence, an unbroken line of awareness and motion. And in the spirit of Zen spontaneity, the master's hands also signifies an act that arises in alignment with life, without deliberation or mental commentary. And this aligns with the teaching of the koan, of just walking or just sitting, where any sense of doing is transcended, and the practitioner becomes inseparable from the activity. So the non-dual experience of this gate reveals that the hand is not the property of an ego or identity, but it's a part of the seamless flow of our own existence. Like the ox herding picture of riding the ox home, this gate invites the practitioner into a state of mastery that is more about simplicity. It's more about simplicity than technique, and it's more about surrender than dominance. So the master's hand is masterly, precisely because it emerges free from the self. Mastery because it emerges from the self, embodying Zen's highest principles of non-duality and the ease in every action. So it's in this way the sixth gate of Kamasaka and the koan both call for unity of mind and body, a state where action and awareness are indistinguishable. And then when considering the koan, when walking, just walk, when sitting, just sit, and you put that alongside the sixth ox herding picture and the sixth gate of Kamasaka, the master's hands, then we find the theme of return and simplicity in each of these. So then the teachings begin to work in harmony, to remind us as practitioners that enlightened understanding is not a distant or complicated achievement, but rather it's a return to the simplest form of existence. So the master's hands act without interference, much like the practitioner in the koan who just walks or just sits. In both cases, one achieves a state of unity where doing and being, they collapse into a singular, undivided experience. And then in the journey of riding the ox home, it beautifully encapsulates this. We are no longer separate from the ox. The practitioner is now one with the mind, riding it without strain or effort. The reins are held, but they are unnecessary because the ox knows the path. The ox knows the way home, just as the practitioner realizes they are already home. And the koan similarly instructs us to abandon our need to control or dictate the experience, to simply walk, to simply sit, with no desire to achieve anything outside the act of itself. So finally, each of these teachings, they underscore Zen's unique approach to Kensho, the opening of the mind's eye, and as a way of living with complete presence. Rather than becoming a separate master, the practitioner returns to their natural state, reflecting the interdependence of all things. And this state, it points to a mastery that emerges from pure presence, an unforced skill that allows one to blend seamlessly with the world, neither anticipating nor resisting any moment, not resisting any moment. So, to conclude, in Zen, the journey towards enlightenment is not one of adding to ourselves, but it's one of stripping away layers of complexity, revealing the natural and the spontaneous mastery that is within. And then the koan when walking, just walk, when sitting, just sit, expresses the essence of Zen presence, free from self-consciousness. And it's this pure way of being that aligns perfectly with the 6 ox herding picture, riding the ox home, where the practitioner rests in unity with their own mind, at peace on the path home. And then in Kamasaka's 6th gate, the concept of skill, it takes on new meaning as action flows effortlessly from the non-dual mind. Ultimately, these 3 teachings illuminate the Zen path as a journey back to simplicity and unity with the present. Because true mastery is not defined by accomplishment or technique, but by the ability to act without division. And in this sense, Zen mastery, whether it's walking or sitting or the hands of the master, they are a return to the heart of our existence, where nothing more is needed. And simply, each moment simply speaks for itself. I hope you've enjoyed this Dharma talk as much as I have. Thank you for watching.